I hope your day is full of rulers and pencil sharpeners and erasers and spiral notebooks and ballpoint pens and staplers and staple removers. Guys, it's a office supply intro. One thing about me is that I do love an office supply store. I love the smell of an office supply store. You can catch me in my spare time perusing the aisles of Staples, perusing the aisles of Office Depot. I'm a big school supply bitch. We have an amazing episode of Shenk for you this week with the one, the only comedian Josh Adam Meyers. But before we get into this week's episode of Shenk with Josh Adam Meyers, I just want to tell you about a few things. One, I'm coming to Canada in April with Kim Congdon. We will be at LOL Fest. So if you're in Canada, get tickets for that. And I'm doing bonus content on Patreon now. I'm going to be doing like vlogs / mini pods, like probably 10 minutes at least twice a month. So for $5 a month, you can get those. Patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk. And as always, all my show dates are on at Princess Shenk. I believe I will be coming to Austin soon, so we'll look out for those dates as well. And let's do it. Let's get into this episode of Shenk with the one, the only Josh Adam Meyers, guys. Here it is. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Shenk. I'm Sarah Weinshenk, and today's guest is the one, the only comedian, Josh Adam Meyers.
Yeah, and like a dog.
And like a dog. How old is she?
She's 8. She's a spry 8.
She is a spry 8.
She's a spry 8.
Do you bring her on the road with you everywhere you go?
I bring her everywhere. I bring the dog everywhere. So when I went on tour last summer. Mm-hmm. And I was gone for like 3 months, and this
with Goddamn Comedy Jam.
With Jelly Roll, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's what's so funny is like later in life when they all met her, they were like, "Oh, you should have brought her," and I was like, "Well, I didn't know I was going to be able to bring an 80-pound Doberman like on a tour bus."
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to like leave any footprints. You just want to be super chill about it.
Yeah.
But this woman took her, and then I looked over my calendar the rest of the year, and it was like I'm on the road all of January. I was on the road all of February, and I was like, if I give the dog to the girl that watches her, I'll get the dog for maybe 5 days out of those 2 months because I was on the road.
That's sad.
Yeah, and you know the dogs, not to get like. If you where's the camera? If you have a dog, just know that it's not infinite. So fucking take the dog everywhere. Buy the goddamn service animal thing. No one will stop you. Just make sure the dog's not an asshole, and you'll be fine. But that's the rule. So that's what we do, man. And now I bring her everywhere. And whether she's not even that annoying. She's super chill.
No,
actually.
she is very chill.
Watch this. Lay down.
She's good. Wait, so how did you end up opening for Jelly Roll? How did that happen?
So you were there, I think. You were at Skankfest. Yeah, it was at Skankfest.
That's where you met him?
When we were in it was before we did the show in the boxing ring. And it was October 22, and we're going to rehearsal on the second night. The first night was like a pain in the ass because they were doing the mint thing. So like we had to do sound check while people were coming in because the first show ran long. So we wanted to make sure the second night was good. So finally they've got everything worked out. It's the first year they're doing it at that venue. And we have to walk to go to do the sound check. And Jelly's doing a performance on Fremont Street for like 25,000 people.
Okay, I remember that he was performing
and
there.
It's like crazy. And I just look at him like, it's that fucking that fat face tattoo guy that did the shit with Andrew Schultz. Like that was all I knew. But I was also like, damn, like I didn't realize that he was like this bigger. I just thought he was like, you know.
Well, because you see someone on Fremont Street, you're like, there's so much happening. You kind of just disassociate. You're like, is that real talent on Fremont? I don't know. But it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's so funny that you said that because that's like every time you see somebody on Fremont, you're like, man, they're really probably doing bad right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they probably have a bar mitzvah to play next week or whatever.
Exactly.
You're not wrong, and I do know that they have like on certain occasions because if you look at it, they have like Stone Temple Pilots is going to be there, and like they have like some good bands.
So
but,
even Stone Temple Pilots has to do shitty rooms sometimes.
Well, you know,
Fremont.
Is it really Stone Temple Pilots if it doesn't have the lead singer? Do you think? Do you agree with that? Like, is it Linkin Park if?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not Journey either. Was
Yeah, but
that
dude, that fucking Asian guy is so good. He's so good.
he is really good.
He really sounds like if you close your eyes, it's Stephen Perry.
Yeah.
So we walk through the crowd. We get to our show. We're sound checking, and then Casey, his guitarist, who I later became very close with, and this girl that works at Zany's came up and was like, "Hey, so Jelly Roll's in town." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I saw the crowd," and they're like, "Well, he wants to do a song because he loves comedy." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, we'll do like a cover. Like, what covers does he want to do?" And Casey was like, "Actually, we want to do one of our own songs." And this is October 22. Like Jelly Roll's not, Save Me's not out. Like none of those songs. So I don't know I don't know anything about him. So I'm like, yeah, dude, we don't know his music.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, but like, just let's do a cover. And they're like, well, how about our band takes your band's instruments and then we'll play a couple songs. And I'm like, no, like that's ridiculous. Like
That's
this
insane.
this is my show. Like I don't want to just stop the show and give it to somebody, especially because like I said, I don't know what the fuck they do. And so I go, listen, if you want to play ball, we'll do this. But I'm not going to stop the show for this guy. And I get it. And they're like, but it's Jelly Roll. And I go, I don't know who the fuck he is. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. and it's almost that ignorance and that I think that, setting the boundaries and I think this as a performer, it's like, no, I know my worth. Like I know, like I get it. Yeah, he might be somebody in whatever the fuck he's doing, but I know what we're doing is dope and these people are here for us. So I don't want to change that just so we have this guy come up and do a song. And I think that is what really attracted Jelly to us because when he showed up, he even said it to me. He was like, dude, I was like talking shit. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But then he walked in and he saw like, because it's the Skankfest crowd.
Fun.
So it's like you could do anything there and they'll go with us. Like they love us at Skankfest. They love all the comics. The fans are so excited. So he walked in, saw that and was just like, yeah, dude. He goes, oh yeah, this guy doesn't need me at all. And he had the best night. And this is back when he really drank and partied and he offered me the tour. And I was like, okay, dude, sure. 3 months. All right. You're going to pay me that? Okay, whatever. And then it was funny. This is like, I always forgot about this part is that Steve Byrne, every year we do a foundation. We do like a fundraiser for the Mario Lemieux Foundation. Mm-hmm. It's in Pittsburgh. It's like, cause he reps that town and we're setting up the one in July and he goes, so can you do it? And I go, well, I think I'm going out with that guy Jelly Roll. We talked about it, but I'm not, it's nothing set in stone. And he goes, oh, well, I'll call him. And I'm like, oh, well, good. And then he calls him and Jelly's like, nah, he's good. We're not doing it till the end of July. And then I didn't hear from him again. I would text him nothing. And then it was, what's funny too, Sarah, is like, you ever have those moments where it's like you look at, which we all do it, is like we look at everybody else's calendar or this and you're like, oh my, because right now it's happening. You see everybody, these are my dates for
2025 and you're like, I have one date in 2025. How are you booked through June, asshole?
There's people booked through like 2027. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
It's so fucked.
So I'm seeing that and I'm just like really, I'm not like depressed, but you're just comparing and contrasting.
Yeah.
I do a podcast and then after the podcast, he calls me and I answer the phone and he's like, dude, he's like, I'm at my agent's office. He's like, are you in? And everything he said, man, he was just, he took such good care of me and the band and continues to. Like, we're going out with him again this year. Like, he's the best. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Really, really like, because it was finally like, oh, this is what I should be doing. This is what I wanted. This is ultimately the ultimate goal of what I want to do as a performer. Stand up I love, but it's like I just want to do the shit with the band all the time. Like that's my sweet spot.
So good at it, and you like found your thing, and everyone loves it.
Thank you.
It's such a fucking fun show.
Thank you.
It's literally the best part of Skankfest.
Well, I think. Thank you for saying that.
The naked roast is too much for me.
But the naked roast has had moments that like this is the coolest shit I've ever seen, and then also it's like that first year that I saw it, which is when I said that because it was like hot chicks and like and guys with big dicks and small dicks, so it was really fun.
Yeah.
And now it's just fat guys with small dicks.
Fat guys with small dicks, and sometimes like I'll just be driving and I'll have a flashback to something I saw at the Naked Roast like 2 years ago, and I'm like, no, why am I thinking of that right now?
How can you be cut and uncut at the same time?
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
God.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one year at the Naked Roast Battle. I think it was the first year. There was a guy and a girl battling. I wish I remember the girl's name because I want to give her the credit because it was genius. He goes up, he does his jokes, does okay. And then they're like, all right, and now Tina, whatever the fuck, like, you know, do yours. And she's like, she says a joke and she goes, wait a second, I fucked that up. Let me check my notes. And do you remember this? She reaches into her vagina.
I saw that show, yeah.
Yeah, no, I heard about that.
But wait, Sarah? What?
So gross to me.
It's
Just
gross.
have your set list in your pussy.
Well, it was in like an egg capsule. It was like in a like
That's even
like
grosser.
something that you like bury and then you pull out 10 years later. But then she pulls out the jokes out of like a scroll on her puss. And then they all suck. So it's even funnier because then she just bombs.
No.
But the reaction from her pulling him out of her sniz was like, yes, sorry, Lecca. This is the greatest thing ever. Lecca's got a huge pussy. If you can get the camera, oh my God. Huge. Lecca, sit. Lay down. There you go.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny is like, have you ever done? Because I know, like, you know, because you work with Kim a lot, and Kim's such a good roaster. But have you ever roasted?
I roasted Adam Egan when he moved to the mothership.
So that's great because you guys had a thing.
Dated,
You guys were.
So I knew it. I knew
So
all
you
the
had
things.
which is great. What was your best Adam Egan joke? Do you remember?
Something about his dick is so big that everyone can suck it at once, and they all do. Something I
How
don't
is
remember.
that's a great.
But it
That's a
was
great
like-
joke, but it's
it
also
was
like that's not a roast.
No, but it was like it was funny. I don't remember the exact way I worded
Your
it.
dick is so long. How long? It's fucking long. Long and strong.
But yeah, no, I'm not really a roaster. That's more Kim's thing.
It's so hard. We did Jelly Roll just had a roast in
I saw that.
yeah,
How
in-
was it?
so I worked my ass off.
Yeah.
And I worked with a couple guys from Roast Battle to really like go over stuff I really wanted to kill. John, his manager, calls me and he goes, so we're doing the roast, and I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, how about we bring the band too? You know, you'll do some music. I go, of course, they would love to come. And so I go, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do roast, like jokes, but then also I'm going to write a song in the vein of like, originally it was like, I'm going to write a Jelly Roll formula song. So I'm going to do all of his songs are about like redemption, and there's like a structure to it of how he does it. It's quasi hip hop. It's this. And then I go, you know what? That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to write a song about how Jelly Roll, his whole life is about redeeming himself and getting forgiveness for the bad stuff he did in his past. And at this point, he's good. Like, he's done enough. You know what I mean? He's like, he's such a good guy. So I was like, unless he's done horrible shit. So then I'm like, I'll write a song about all the things that I think he probably did, like started AIDS, told Bruce Jenner to be himself. He's the reason for the
hilarious.
yeah, it's like the depopulation of the honeybees is because it's all this shit. And it was like I worked with Avery Pearson, who's a brilliant writer and comic. Yeah, and we wrote this song. It was awesome. And then I wrote the roast jokes. And then the day of the show, we show up. It wasn't like completely like a mess in the sense that it was like, you know, there was no order because it was really well put together, the actual event, but just nobody knew anything. Like Big J didn't know it was a roast. He was first told it was a roast, then he told it wasn't a roast. Then he showed up at the day of it and he picks up there's merch that says the roast of Jelly Roll. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? And of course, Jay murdered because Jay's just brilliant in that level. But I show up for sound check with the band thinking, okay, so I'll do jokes, then I'll do the song. And they go, all right, so you're going to go up at the beginning and you're going to do 20, 30 minutes to warm the crowd up. And I'm like, I don't want to wait. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to roast. They go, no, you're still going to roast, but we got to do the song and music early so we can break the stage and then we can set it up for the roast. And I'm like, okay. And at first I was a little not scared, but I guess you're kind of like, oh man, I don't want to do it while people are like showing up. Like I want to be on the same level as Whitney and Tony and all of them.
Yeah.
And so then they go, but listen, it's now the crowd will be sitting there. It's going to be great. And I go, okay, listen, like I'll do anything for this guy. It'll be fun. We'll do a song. We'll just warm up the crowd. Then we'll do our song and then we'll start the show. And we get ready to start the roast when everybody's there. It's the night of the show. And they go, you know what? How about this? You're just going to go up, just go do 10 minutes with the band, and then we'll start the show. So I'm like, perfect. I can just do that song now. Everybody's sitting there. The song, I hate to say the word kill, it kills. Like everybody's into it. The crowd's singing along. I do this whole thing. It's brilliant. And then we sit down to do the actual roast. And I'm third. John Christ is the host.
Okay.
Then two of the Bussin' with the Boys guys, you know them? They're like, I call them the alt-right Kelsey brothers. They went up. They did okay because they're not roasters.
Yeah.
Then Chris Porter and Zach Myers from Shinedown. How can you not? He's the best.
Yeah.
But they do roast jokes, and then they do a song in the vein of Jelly Roll. So they did that first idea that I was going to do. So thank God I changed it. They murder.
So they write a song?
They wrote a song together, basically, like I said, about doing like, because Jelly has a formula. It's almost like he starts low and he talks about how bad it is, but then he's got a chorus that's like, but you can fucking do it. Just get off your ass and work or whatever. Yeah. And then he has a bridge where it's like, and then the darkness comes in your babadoo. And then he kind of raps it, and then he goes back to the uplifting shit. So Zach and Chris did that. So then when it came to me, like I go up and I would say I did, let's say out of 20 jokes, I'd say 8 fucking murdered.
Okay.
Dude, 12 of those were like, it was rough, dude.
Roasts are so hard.
It was so.
If it's not your thing, it's already like you're already in your head about it. And for me to come up with one roast joke, like Kim has that muscle and she could do like sit down for 3 hours and have like 20 roast jokes. For 3 hours, I could maybe have 2.
Yeah, I have a premise.
I have a premise, but I don't know how to like quite structure it to fit into the formula of roast.
It's hard.
And I don't like being mean, and I don't like hearing mean things about myself. You know what I mean? I think there's
things that you need to do, which is like, like you compliment. The first thing you do is you go, guys, give it up for Sarah Weinshenk. Oh, we love Sarah. You're the best. And then you go in. And then you go in. And right before I went up, because keep in mind, I had to do the song.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to be off book for that. And that was a lot. And then I have the roast shit, and I was like, I ran the roast jokes by Big J and Whitney, and they're like, no, these are great. And then Tony sees me off stage before I go up to do the song, and I'm holding, because I always print out multiple copies of everything because I lose so much shit. Yeah. So I've got like 5 copies of the song, 5 copies of the roast jokes. And Tony sees that and he's like, what are you doing, man? Those are too many jokes. You need to cut those jokes. And I'm like, no. These are multiple copies of the things. He goes, I don't care. He's like, don't go up there with that many jokes. You got to cut them. And he got in my head. And then I got like, okay. So I'm like, and I'm trying to do this. This is all in front of people. And I'm telling you, I didn't bomb.
Yeah.
I didn't do, because dude, it's like, then Adam Ray goes up and just murders, and you're like, oh. And it was fun, and luckily it was like, I kept saying that. I was like, when a joke didn't work, I was like, do you remember how good the song was at the beginning? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
That was great. Okay, well, we'll forget about this. But I had a couple that were like, that really, that's such a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do if it's not really your thing, too.
I just don't want to be mean.
I don't want to be mean either. And also, everyone in comedy, they pretend like it doesn't hurt their feelings. It hurts their feelings. Everyone's sad. And they're masking. They're like, it's fine. I'll say something more mean to hurt them.
But don't you think it's like when you roast. So when you roast, let's say when Donald Trump got roasted, right?
Yeah.
So he's a billionaire. you know, according to him, regardless if it's verified or not, whatever. It's like the guy's super wealthy and has been very successful.
Right.
So you can shit on him, but it's like, I'm a multimillionaire. You shit on successful people.
I know, but then you shit on some open micer with like saggy tits that's naked at Skankfest, and it's just kind of sad and dark. And you're like, watch someone pull something out of their pussy, and then you're like, where am I and who are these people? It doesn't feel very hygienic. I don't know.
It was not hygienic.
No.
It was not hygienic.
Dude, I feel like there's like new strains every year from Skankfest.
Dude,
Super
the
strains.
year that we all went for when I met Jelly Roll, it was the next weekend was Nick, my drummer's wedding in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he gets COVID. His wife got COVID. Half the fucking audience, the guest list didn't want to come because he had COVID. So yeah, dude, Skankfest is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
And Vegas on top of that is just.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I hope they move it. I think
they are.
I think they are, but
Right?
I really, I don't know where, but Vegas is just, you know.
It's so overwhelming already. Skankfest is already crazy, and then when it's in Vegas, it's fucking nuts.
What's your favorite city in America, and what's your least favorite city in America?
I think my favorite city is probably LA.
Really?
I'm an LA bitch because I'm from here.
Born and raised, right?
Born and raised.
What part?
The Valley. I'm a Valley girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are the Valley.
Yeah.
You could have been in like Fast Times at Ridgemont
Yeah.
High. You are a character.
Yeah, totally. So I would say probably LA, and my least favorite is Washington, D.C. I hate it.
That's where I'm from.
You really?
Yeah.
No.
I swear to God, I have the
No.
I have the Nationals logo right here.
I hate it there.
It says DC where you got
Are
it
you
right.
serious?
Yeah, I swear to God.
That's so
I'm from
funny.
Maryland. That's my favorite
That's
city.
your favorite city?
Well, I mean, you know, it's the same thing about you in Los Angeles, which is like when you grow up in a place, you see it differently than other people.
Yeah.
You know, LA, I was like, I wouldn't say I'm jealous of the kids that grew up in New York or like Brooklyn or the kids that grew up in LA, but it's like you guys take it for granted. You guys take for granted how you're in the epicenter of all of entertainment, or if you're in New York, it's like you're in this, you know, the best food, the best this, like, you know, DC, I wouldn't put, you know, LA, and I think it's in the discussion of LA and New York, but I don't think it has, like, for what if I loved politics or some shit like that, yes.
It's that part I don't like about it.
Politics?
The politics, and like it seems like everyone's kind of the same. I don't know.
You're from LA.
I know.
Are you fucking nuts? Are you nuts? Is this
There was a lot
nuts?
of fucking nerds in glasses wearing navy.
Have you been to Silver Lake?
I know, but they're cool.
Everybody looks like they're in the band, Fun. That guy Jack Abra, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay,
LA, and I think that's why I love New York more than LA. It's like
New York is amazing.
because New York, it's got the entertainment industry, it's got everything, but it has
Diversity.
like real people, man, and the majority of them are real. Like I think there's with Los Angeles, which I don't. It doesn't bother me. And when people shit on LA and New York, I'm like, you don't know. It's a great town.
I didn't really appreciate LA until I started going on the road more. And then when I come home, I'm like, well, it is pretty nice here. The weather is nice. The beach is here. The
best.
desert. There's so much.
The only thing that I think sucks the most about it is what I experienced last night, which is just traffic every night.
All the time.
All the time. Anytime you're in a hurry, it's always like I was just trying to get to, which actually I'm really impressed about last night. I think I really did a good job because I never come to town and I never do like, you know, if I'm in town, let me rephrase that. When I come to town, I'm only in town Sunday, Monday, and then I usually leave Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to La Jolla tomorrow. So I was like, I'll stay for the week. And then I started booking shows because I was going, I might as well fucking hang out and see people and try to get up. And so I started out with one show last night. And by the end of the night, you know, by the end of like building the night out over the last few days, I ended up with 4 shows. But
That's
it was
awesome.
like, you need for it to work. And it wasn't like, you know, Comedy Store, Improv, Laugh Factory, like haha. It was Comedy Store, Kookaburra to Venice Underground.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, dude. And then back here to do another belly room shot. And it was, thank God, like jet ski could like move me up on the lineup to make it work. But it was still just like that, like trying to get, you have to go to fucking Hollywood and Highland to go do a show.
So fucking annoying. That's how I felt yesterday because I had a set downtown. And downtown LA fucking freaks me out.
Does
It's
it
like all
really?
one-way street. I hate downtown LA. It's my least favorite part of LA.
Because it's an actual city down there.
Yeah, because it's scary and there's like it's close to Skid Row and there's lots of one-way streets. And I feel like if anything bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen downtown.
Have you ever been mugged? Have you ever?
I've got one time someone robbed me in my driveway with a knife, but then I got my shit back. It was like this like young like criminal. He was like in his 20s and he like was standing in my driveway with a knife like this, and but he was not like very confident. And I was like, he's like, give me your stuff, and I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I give him my stuff, and then I start screaming, and this random girl pulls up. She's like, what happened? Did he just take your stuff? And I was like, yeah. She's like, get in the car. And then she chases him down in the car. She's like, we're gonna call the cops. And he's like, please don't call the cops. Please don't call the cops. He almost starts crying and giving me back my shit.
Aw.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just always.
Dude, what a pussy ass
He was
robber.
such a pussy robber.
God damn, dude. Like, have some confidence.
Yeah, no.
I've been robbed with somebody with confidence. That's fucking scary. In
With
downtown
a gun?
LA. No, with not with a gun, with brute strength. It was February of 2012. This was I was buying opiates because I used to downtown LA. Everything you said about it is 100% true.
Yeah.
It's scary. There's drug dealers. There's crime. There also used to be a comedy club down there. Do you remember it? The Downtown Comedy Club. Garrett Morris,
Vaguely.
Kevin Garnier. It's truth be told, it is such a huge part of my career because I got in there probably about a year and a few months into stand up, you know, and to get quality time in Los Angeles that early in your career is so valuable.
Hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's like if you get it, and unless you're, you know, at the time, unless you're, you know, a Whitney or a Sebastian or a Dalia at that time, it's like that's all. Those are the people that get in spots here. And so I got in there, and they would put me up. One of the secret ingredients to why I did so well there was because it was right next to Pill Alley. So I used to go to 5th and Broadway, and you just wait there. And, you know, there was this guy, and he would sell me, I would buy one Oxycontin 80 milligram, and then I'd buy like 4 yellow 10s. And I would take the Oxy 80 and I would just go up on stage and just murder.
Would you remember it?
Oh, yeah, because opiates like they don't make me mellow. They give me energy. It was like Coke. And what it did is it just killed all the nervousness.
Okay.
So I was just like, I felt so good that it was just like, because I think that's with stand-up. What makes a set go bad is you thinking about the set and not just being
present.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're, and you know, it's that whole like, I know, you know, like you're open and you're spiritual, so you understand what it's like. Just like, no, man, I'm just like the flow state.
Yeah,
and I'm just you're just in the zone, and you're like, that guy's there, and I see that there, and blah blah blah, and you don't give a shit if they're laughing or not. You're just in it.
Yeah.
And that's what it did. And especially early on when you're like developing as a comic, like that's all you're doing is thinking about your set. So when you can just be free. I mean, that's how like people become real comics and I think successful. So I just utilized that, and after about 2 years, I mean, I've got a crippling drug addiction,
right? But
I mean, like high functioning, and I meet some girl and she sells, I'm trying to get Oxy 80s, and she's like, listen, I don't have any, but give me your number, and if I find any, I'll give you a call. And then like a week later, I get this random phone call. It was funny too, because I was sober for a few days, and I was like, no, I'm done. And then she called me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go buy some. And I call the number, and the guy's like, he's like, do you have, he's like, so what do you want? And I say, okay, well, I'll take, like, let me get like 10 Perk 30s or Oxycontin, whatever the fuck it is. And he goes, yeah, man, I don't deal that small. He goes, so if you want any, you got to spend money. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, well, I don't want to do that. He goes, all right, cool. And then that's it. And then a couple minutes later, I'm like, well, I'm actually going to buy, I should just buy that many because I'm going to take them. So I call the guy back and he goes, cool. And I say, all right, so I'll do $700 worth. And so I go get the money. I go to downtown LA and then I go to meet the guy. He's at the corner of like Los Angeles and 6th. And
nightmare.
Dude, just the shittiest. And it's nighttime February, so it's already dark around 5 p.m. Dude, I see the guy and he's wearing like a nicer outfit. Like he's not, you know, like you know what I mean? You think of like.
He's not like he looks like a presentable drug dealer.
Yes.
He almost looks like a businessman.
Sure, like a hip hop businessman.
Hip hop producer.
Hip hop, yeah, very hip hop producer. Yes, very Diddy. He's wearing a Nietzsche or like Echo Unlimited.
Yeah.
But his face is like is the homeless drug dealer scary guy.
Yeah.
But his clothes is not. And so we walk down to a group of people and it's just like New Jack City. There's like a fucking like a trash can that's on fire and there's people like doo-wop singing and then there's crackheads walking by.
No.
And I'm there.
Yeah, you're one of them.
I'm one of but I'm sticking
you're
out.
You're part
like,
of the circus.
But they like trust me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not the only white guy, but I'm like the only one dressed. You know, I'm wearing Japanese raw denim. Like, yeah, I look like a sore thumb out there. And we're talking for a minute, not much, but he goes, all right, we gotta wait here for a second. And then this girl walks up and she hands him some pills. And he goes, yeah, I got them right here. And then he shows them to me. And they're yellow, which that means they're just Vicodin 10 milligrams. And I go, yeah, man, that's not what I wanted. And he goes, oh, yeah, my bad. He's, oh, fuck, this is for somebody else. He's like, don't worry, give me a couple minutes. And then people are going by and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, yo, I always help y'all out. When are y'all going to help me out? And somebody walks up and hands him a crack pipe, right? And then he hits the crack pipe right there. And what's so funny, it's so funny is that you have that two sides of your brain where you're like, Josh, get out of here. This is ridiculous. The guy's smoking crack. This is a drug dealer. You're going to get hurt.
Right.
He's going to rob you. Just go.
Yeah.
But then you have the drug addict side that's like, well, maybe he just needs a little something just to get himself in a good mood, but he'll get me my drugs. Yeah. This guy's going to come through, I can tell. And then this other dude walks up that I'll never forget, looks like Steph Curry from the Warriors, but like drug addict Steph Curry. And he hands him another thing, and it's the same thing. It's Vicodin again. Oh, wait. First, he goes, oh, the guy's over here. We walk over to another section down like a half a block away. That's where we meet that guy. The guy pulls out the pills. They're yellow again. I go, dude, that's not what I want. And he goes, oh, my bad. I go, you know what, dude? I'm going to get out of here. And so I start walking down Los Angeles back towards my car, and the guy, the drug dealer, gets in front of me like, whoa. He's like, nah, man. He's like, don't worry, I got him. And right at that moment, the Steph Curry guy comes up behind and starts choking me.
No.
And like, yeah, he's like right here. He pulls the wool cap down over my eyes.
No.
They're choking me. He's like, you're going to die. You're going to die. And I'm just like, please. I'm like choking. And then they get me to the ground. I can't see what's going on. I'm struggling to breathe. The guy grabs my pockets. Here's what's funny is I just DJ'd at the strip club. So I had one pocket of like 41s. And then I think I had like another pocket of like, you know, maybe like a 20 or two or something. And then I had the $700 in two pockets in my jacket. So I had like 300 here and 400 here. So they rip my pants. They grab the money. I elbow the guy. They release me. And I go back to my car, right? I run away. So what I did was I went to my glove box and I got my gun.
No.
And I go back and I fucking killed everybody.
No.
I killed them all. I killed everybody.
That's crazy that you got away.
Yes. Well, I mean, what are they going to do? Kill me on it's still in the middle of daylight, not daylight, but like it's the side of a street. There's no way.
So they didn't take like your driver's license or anything? Just the
They take my driver's license.
I don't know. Did like steal your identity, your credit cards or anything?
Yo, get his Lord and Taylor card. Get that hex. No, they didn't take my wallet. I don't know if I brought my wallet. I don't when I used to go down to downtown LA to buy drugs, because I did it quite frequently. I would not wear jewelry. Like I would never wear like an expensive thing. I would always try to dress as poorly or what do you want to say it as possible. But I would leave my wallet like in my car. You know, but also at that time I didn't really have credit cards. Like I didn't get credit cards again until fucking 2018, 19. I ruined my credit.
That's crazy.
Is your credit good?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Nice.
It's taken a long time for it to get good. And I'm scared that it's going to go bad.
What
I'm
makes
always
you,
like...
What makes you scared? What do you like crazy spending?
No, I just put a lot of flights on my credit cards for work.
That's what you got to do. Well,
Right? Because you got to
I
get the Delta rewards.
do the Delta stuff. Let me tell you something. And I saw this on an Instagram or a TikTok video, and this to all the fans out there. Like, get a credit card. Only use your credit card. Get your credit card. Pay it off. Pay it off. Spend the money that you have, but don't use your debit card. Only use your credit card.
Really?
I only use my credit card because it's their money. And if somebody steals or something from the credit card company will fight to get it back. If it's your debit card, they will not. They don't give a shit. And if you use your credit card, you build credit.
That's true.
So only, dude, I'm telling you. So it's like what I would do is, you know who helped me? Remember, Steve Randolph and like Chelsea? Steve Randolph was like some shady credit.
No, he was selling, he's like, do you know anyone who has a website that needs to process credit cards? I was like, no. He's like, that's what I'm doing now.
It was right before the pandemic. My credit was fucked up from years of, either being a drug addict or just being a comic. I mean, dude, I moved out I remember I got a credit card when I was younger. Then I ruined it. Then I got it back and I got my credit good. And then I moved to LA. I ruined it again.
I know.
And then I just didn't have credit. I didn't have a bank account until 2012. I think I went from
That's insane.
08 until 2012 that I didn't have a bank account. And Brittany was the one that got me like my life kind of in order, my ex-girlfriend. And then Steve was the one, he was like, get a prepaid credit card. I did that.
To build
credit. But it was like you put like a $300 budget, but I would buy
I remember doing that.
Dude, but I would buy a $100 thing, pay it off. Because it's so easy now with the app. You just buy, pay. And so I did that. Then they upped it up to about $2,000. And then I got Credit Karma and I started looking at that. And then I I was like, I feel like I can get an American Express. And then I applied for one and I got it. And I remember it showed up and I cried. I was I'm like, dude, because you like,
I know,
dude. It's like when you fuck up shit, like you're like I remember like when I was really in debt when I was a young kid, and this guy was trying to get me to pay back whatever the bill it was. He's like, I hope you like driving the car that you're driving now because you're never gonna get another new one. And I was like, no, please.
No.
He's like, no. He's like, if you don't pay us back, this is what it's gonna be. You in that Jeep forever. And I was like, no. So. They can, they're not wrong.
Right.
But it's like, it's the truth. It's like, you can get another car, but your APR is going to be like 60%. Because that's what it was when I got a new car, when I did bad credit.
That's crazy.
You don't have good credit, you're fucked. You're learning a lot of life lessons on this.
Turn your life
Shenk
around
today,
with
dude.
the Josh Adam Meyers.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, if I can do it, then I think anybody else can.
How long have you been off opioids?
2016, May 17th. So we're going on. It'll be 9 years in May.
That's
crazy.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I miss them. God damn.
You miss them?
I mean, why not? A little bit.
You want to go down to Pill Alley and get robbed?
But just like I don't like pot.
You don't?
Nah, I really don't like pot. And mushrooms and acid you can't do every day.
No.
And you can't do Molly every day, and I like Molly.
No, you can't do Molly every day.
Molly rules. Do you
Molly,
do it?
It makes me like so depressed after I do it.
I thought you were about to grab something. You'd be like, this, Molly?
Yeah, Molly. I haven't done it in a long time. The last time I did it, I didn't get that high, and then the come down was really bad.
You were like depressed for a few days?
Yeah. I can't fuck with my serotonin like that. But good Molly is fun. Like, I've had really fun times on Molly before.
What was the best time you've ever had on it?
At a rave.
Oh God, dude.
At a rave, a Halloween rave where I was dressed up. Probably the first time, it was actually ecstasy. The first time I ever did ecstasy, I was dressed up as the Energizer Bunny. And I made like a drum, and I was on ecstasy, and I saw another man that was dressed as a bunny.
And you were like,
I was like, yeah!
please.
I was like, bunny love! And like, and then the next day I looked at a photo of him, and he was like this nerdy Asian guy that was an accountant. But in the moment, I thought he was my soulmate.
Oh my God.
And then
I've been
also
there.
probably a rave in London. I went to a rave at the O2 Arena in London, which was crazy for New Year's one year. And I thought that I was in love with the PE teacher.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I'm about to move to London and be with this PE teacher.
Really?
Yeah. And then the next day I was like, yeah, that's not
Did you hook up with him?
No.
Did you make out with him? Dude.
No, he gave me my rave name, Little Penguin.
That's your rave name.
Yes.
I mean, please explain.
I don't know. Like in the middle, he's like, you need a rave name. I was like, I do. He's like, yeah. So he's picked Little Penguin. So that was my rave name. Did you ever get a rave name?
I did. Mine was Nietzsche. Neechie. Yeah.
Why?
Because that was my MC name. I used to MC over drum and bass.
Oh my God.
So I used to, yeah. Oh, dude. First of all, I wasn't always this gristled, old man. I literally was this adorable. Oh man, pictures of me in my rave days. Oh, I was frosted tips. I wasn't jacked. I was really small and just. Oh man, I was so cute with my kickwears and my fucking. I was such a good raver. I had I had all the 311 balls and
you did?
Yeah, I was. So I started going to raves when I backpacked through Europe for about 6 months when I was 18. Me and my buddy.
After high school?
After high school and 1 year of college. We dropped out of college and then we went to Europe. And to get laid. That was like the whole point was like.
Was it for pussy?
Mm-hmm. I had a buddy that was in the military, and he came back and was like, dude, if you want to get laid, go to Europe. Okay. But he was also stationed in like the middle of nowhere, not like Paris, but he was like, 3 hours outside of that. So I think we didn't know that. He didn't explain it. So we were just like, we're just going to go to London. We'll buy a train ticket and we'll just fucking backpack. And we kind of like planned it to go like around. So we would go like London, France, then go down to Spain, then go, I think it was like maybe Switzerland or Austria. And then we went down to Italy and we went up, and then kind of you go around and you go up through Germany. And then we ended up in Amsterdam, and then we flew from Amsterdam back to America. We like five and a half. I mean, it was a long trip. And I only got laid once too. And it wasn't even with a European chick. It was some Australian bitch.
Really?
Yeah. And she wasn't even that hot. Yeah, she really wasn't hot.
Really?
Yeah, she wasn't hot at all. Yeah.
And she had the accent and everything.
Yeah, I mean, she was just, she.
Wallaby.
She's like, right, you want me to suck your dick then,
No.
Come into the hostel, right? We had a great time, but if you want to talk about like the reason we went, like it's just for everything that we went was the wrong reason, but what we did was just, meet so many incredible people. We just drank for fucking 5.5 months. We were both young. But in Amsterdam, we went to I took ecstasy for the first time, and I went to like a bunch of nightclubs, and I just had the best fucking time. And then when I came back to America, I got a job at this restaurant at the mall. Do you ever work at a mall?
Yeah.
Which is like, dude.
It's a lot.
But
I worked at Abercrombie.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't want to brag, but I worked at Abercrombie.
Did you really?
Yes.
Was it all the shit that they said in that thing? Was it like the models were?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And we used to have Abercrombie parties, and they were so fun. Everyone would hook up with everyone.
I had that at my Outback Steakhouse that I
You
worked
did?
at. I was too young to really be a part of it. But I worked at an Outback Steakhouse where everybody was fucking, everybody was partying. Those are fun places,
Yeah.
but that's where you have the most amount of drama.
Yes.
Like I can imagine the Abercrombie because you're all like, high school or like pre-college. And so it's just like, was it like Melrose Place?
Yeah. And also, I also worked at Saddle Ranch when I was 19. And that was kind of the same vibes.
The one right here.
Yeah, on Sunset.
Really? Was
Yeah.
that when they were doing the TV show?
Yeah, it was right around that time. And it was when Saddle Ranch, like I was a hostess at Saddle Ranch and I'd make like $500 in cash just from hostessing and selling bull rides. But
Yeah, I'll get you up next on that bull if you want it. You want to get your friend up there? How'd you make the $500 just from tips?
Yeah, just from tips.
Did the servers have to tip you out, or just like guys would like, I want a table and they give you money?
Guys would just give us money.
I do that.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm so I think people don't realize that time is the most valuable thing that you have. So if you go to a restaurant and they're like, it's a 45-minute wait, I'll 100% give the host $20.
Yeah.
I'll offer money immediately because I'm like,
you don't have to wait.
Dude, it's waiting is it's just the worst. And if $20 gets me in right away, that's
worth it.
I mean, what do you never get back?
Time.
Yeah.
You're right.
Trust me, dude.
Time is money.
Time is money. That's why, like, you know, if like people say, like, you know, it's like, oh, you spend money on lunch. I'm like, okay, well, I could cook my own lunch, but that's going to take time away from me working on stuff. So it's more valuable for me just to pay for lunch than for me to take the hour and a half to prep it and cook it.
It's so much work.
So much work. I just get a crock pot, but, you know, I don't even want to do that.
And then it's like if you go on tour and you come home, then there's nothing in your refrigerator.
Nothing.
And then you don't want to buy something because you know you're going to fucking leave again in a week.
I have the most empty, like I have protein bars, I have eggs.
I always have eggs.
I have blueberries, but I always buy
I
a
always
big
have eggs and blueberries too.
Dude, she loves blueberries.
She does.
Lekka loves blueberries. I got Lekka eating blueberries, broccoli.
Whole Foods.
She loves, we don't have Whole Foods in New York. We have Gleefully.
Okay.
Which is like that.
Okay.
But there is a Whole Foods, but that's just, you kind of like have to go to the supermarket that's closest to you in New York.
That makes sense.
Like, I don't ever go to Trader Joe's. Are you a Trader Joe's person?
Their produce is fucked up. They have a couple. I'll get a couple things from there, but normally I go to Trader Joe's for my eggs, my bananas, and my arugula, and my blueberries. That's it.
What are you doing with arugula?
I like to. Funny you should ask, Josh. I like to make eggs and then I put it over arugula.
Ooh.
And a little bit of olive oil, and then everything but the bagel seasoning on top with goat cheese.
Ooh, that keeps getting better and better and better. That's very Californian.
Yeah.
That's a very and also arugula is like so good for you.
Yeah, so I make sure I get my protein and my grains in the morning.
How do you do your eggs?
It depends. Sometimes I scramble them. Sometimes I just do them like fried.
Fried in ghee?
Yeah.
I can see you doing ghee.
Yeah.
Do you like your homies with Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
Does she teach you about the
Yeah, of course.
She's such a hypocrite though. She's like, no, there is no way I'm eating those HMO charge this, but I will do a bump of whatever that is immediately. It's like, bitch, you're not healthy. No dairy, but is that a Xanax? Sure. Nom nom nom. The neo-hippiness of Los Angeles is
intense.
It's just one of my
least favorite parts.
Yeah, I think look, I can make fun of it, and I think like, you know, because I'm kind of the same way too. You know what I mean? Like I eat very healthy, and what I put in my body is, you know, good for the most part. But then, you know, even when I was a drug addict, it was like I wasn't having dairy, but I was going down to downtown LA and snorting Perk 30. So
yeah.
To each his own.
Yeah, everyone has their thing.
To each his own, but yeah, Steph is like, I mean, I love her to death, but she's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. Like, you know, how's she doing? Is she good?
She's good. Yeah, she has a baby.
I know that.
It's so cute.
That's crazy.
I know.
What's
She's like breastfeeding and like doing a sound bowl at the same time. Yeah.
Good for her, man. Dude,
she's living her best life.
She's always been. I was the first person to date her, by the way.
You were?
I was the first person to date her out of the comedy scene.
Whoa.
We had a very intense relationship for 4 months ish.
And then it dwindled.
No, it was actually really cute. We had you know, I think we had hooked up because she's a part of the scene. It's like me, Ange, Gerard, Jamar, all of us. Willie. We're all just like, you know, doing our thing. And we had hooked up, but then I was just a mess, you know, because as we are, we're all pretty young. And then I remember we have this one night at the Unknown Theater, where she's like, we're sitting down, it's me and her, and she's like, why aren't we dating? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you like me, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I like you. Well, we should date. And I'm like, all right, so let's try it. And then the next like day or two, I think we hung out, and then we didn't hang out for a couple of days or something, but she didn't get back to me. And then Angelo came over to my house, and I'm not going to name names, but he told me Stephanie had hooked up with another comic, and I just was hard. Oh my God, it like broke my heart.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Stephanie was wild and free in her 20s.
She was. And I used to wear I used to take breakups like.
Same.
Dude, I have like burn marks from one time a girl. Like I put cigarettes out of my arm because I wanted to feel anything. This is such a dildo-y thing to do. This is some chick that I like met DJing a private party, and then we went out on one date. One date, and we made out in the back of the National Cathedral in this little park in D.C., your favorite town.
My favorite town.
And then I would like obsess over these girls because I wanted a girlfriend so bad. So I would like, it's the of Mice and Men. I've got the puppy, and then but you break the rabbit's neck because you want it so bad, and it was like, oh my God, like the amount of women that I probably scared because of how intense I wanted it to move.
Right.
I just wanted a girlfriend so bad.
Yeah, no, I was like that in my 20s too.
Oh, did you have long relationships though?
I had some long relationships, but then I had like periods of like where they were obviously not the right person. And
you tried to make it work?
I would try to make it work so hard. And then I'd be like, what do you mean you have another girlfriend? What the fuck? Like shit like that.
What? But see, I feel guys probably courted you because you're so cute and like, it's also like I think, to be a beautiful woman, not saying that you can't, not everybody is like compatible or this, that, and the other thing. But I feel like you were probably being courted more than you had to do the courting.
Yeah, but when I was younger, I feel like the guys that I would want to be in a relationship with were the ones that were emotionally unavailable.
Sure.
Because the ones that came on too strong, I felt like, oh, I don't know, I can't do this. Like,
Sure.
It felt scary to me.
Sure.
And just now I've outgrown that. But like, so for me, it was like always trying to change someone who you can't change or fix.
What was something that you did? Like, do you remember a guy in particular?
Yeah, I dated this one guy on and off for like 5 years, and I kept being like, and I'm like, do you want to be in a relationship? And he's like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Well, I want to be in a relationship, so I can't really do this anymore. So then we'd stop fucking. And then like 3 months would go by, and I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And then we start hooking up again.
Sure.
And I kept thinking
This
over
time?
and over again, that we had this amazing connection and that something was going to change, and it never changed. And it went on for like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
He's single still.
You have a boyfriend?
I have a boyfriend, yeah.
You have a good-looking boyfriend.
Yeah, I have a good-looking boyfriend.
He seems like I saw a picture. He's very like you keep meeting these. Well, it's not Adam. Adam is such a fucking Britpop fucking. But yeah, he almost seems like he's in what's that fucking TV? Yellowstone. You got like a Yellowstone boyfriend.
Yeah,
very Jason Momoa-y, actory, like probably shops at Schaefer's Garment Hotel.
Yes.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you talk about him on here or no? It might
I
burn
talk
up your
about
spot.
him. No. I talk about him on here sometimes.
So did you go from like, are you always in a relationship? Or have you,
I was dating the one guy casually on and off for like 5 years. And then I finally cut it off with him after my first date with my boyfriend.
Oh, so you knew it like that? It was like, you guys went on one date and you were like.
We went on one date and I was like, I got to stop talking to this other guy. Yeah.
Because you felt that connection with him? Wow. What was it?
I don't know. It was just like, it was easy.
Yeah.
It was so easy. It was like the first time where I was like, oh, I actually want to hang out with this person. He wants to hang out with me too. He's making plans to see me.
It's not work.
He's like following through. When we hang out, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like it's actually easy.
What is so for if you had to give advice to any guy, including me,
Yeah.
because even at 45, I'm still like, like I might have a date tonight with this girl.
Yeah.
But it's like, she lives here in Los Angeles. It's just, do I want to take one of the few nights that I have here and go out with somebody that I don't know, or do I want to spend it with a person, people I do know, just comics and whatever. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, what advice do you have like for like a guy on a first date, what that they can do to make a girl feel comfortable?
Okay, first, I think you got to ask a lot of questions. Because sometimes you go on a date with a guy and they just like talk about themselves the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you don't really feel connected because we feel connected when we're like being listened to.
Yeah.
So ask a lot of questions. Yeah, I think you should hang out with her. I mean, I think that it's always good. Like, I went on so many dates. Like, I dated like so many first dates that were just first dates.
Would you do Raya?
Yeah, and it's just sometimes it's just a numbers game. Like, I literally went on probably like 20 Raya dates
In how long?
in like a couple years.
Okay,
Like,
that's not bad.
No, but like, yeah, you just don't know until you go on them. And then like by the time I met my boyfriend, I met him on Raya, and I was like, my hopes were like, I didn't have any expectations at all.
What was the first date?
The first day we went to get ice cream. It was really fun and cute. And it was perfect because it was like ice cream, then you're done, and then you don't feel like you have to, if there's not a connection, you don't have to like hang out all day.
Sure.
So it was perfect.
So wait, dude, how long did the ice cream date last? Was
Like 2.5 hours.
Okay, so you
it
ate
was
the ice
good.
cream and then you
Yeah.
you probably dicked around for a second. Then where'd you go, Van Leeuwen?
No, we went to this place in Topanga. It was when I was living in Topanga.
Is that where you live now?
No, I live in the valley.
Oh, Topanga. That's a whole.
Yeah, I know.
That's a whole world,
I
man.
know,
You
I got
guys,
really
you guys
into
are
it.
that's the neo hippie.
Yes,
Like
and let me tell
we
you,
all know each other. We meet at the bookstore.
Drum
and that's
circle.
Let's have a campfire and dance in the moonlight.
Exactly.
Oh God, I wish I could be a part of that.
You can.
No, I can't. I can't.
You can get a hippie chick in
I-
Topanga easily.
Dude, I can't.
Why?
Because
You'd love
I
it too
love
much,
the
and then you'd
city.
have.
I love New York. I want a New York chick. I want a fucking rad, like.
Have you been going on dates in New York?
Sure. I mean, as much as you can. It's just as hard. Nothing's
Yeah.
easy. Nothing's easy to like. I'm also extremely particular, and also, Sarah, like. You know what it's like to be a comic.
It's a nightmare.
What's our number one thing? Do spots. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
All I want to do is do spots. So can I fit you in on the nights that I don't have spots? Most of the time I can't.
Right.
So it'll become like the worst was I met a girl that, I mean, dude, we hit it off. It was like, yeah, dude, like you're beautiful. She looked like the chick from Meet Joe Black, Claire Forlani, I think her name is. Beautiful. Like a hot Fiona Apple. No, I don't know why I had to say hot Fiona Apple. She looked like Fiona Apple,
Yeah.
so super hot. And we went on a date, and it was great. And then we went on another date, and it was even better. And we hooked up, and it was great. And then I left for 2 weeks. And then I came back, and we went on one date, and then I was gone for 3 weeks. And then I hit her up again. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be there. I'm doing the Cellar for a week. What if I fly you in?
Yeah.
We'll stay at the resort and we'll like hang out. She's like, I just can't. I can't do this. Like, I can't have a guy that I see once a month. So she's like, I think you need to look for somebody else. And I was like, oh, no, I get it. But that was like a bummer. You're like, we really had a connection, but that's the life that we choose.
No, I know.
So what do?
You have to find someone who's down with it.
How do you do that?
You just keep going on dates until you find someone who thinks it's worth it to see you once a month or twice a month. If you have a connection, you can figure it out.
I had a girl, not naming names,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to give away too much. She worked in an industry
Mm-hmm.
that is very sexual.
Okay.
She's a porn star.
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah,
date
yeah.
her, but she like fell in love with me.
Okay.
She like fell in love with me.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we were like friends,
Okay.
and then she like, I mean, it was crazy. Like calling my friends, like, how do I woo? We're perfect for each other. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I want to be with a girl that's been bukkakied once, let alone 45 times.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. It's like I could be with a sex worker, but it's like, man, it's but then the thing is, you're like, but you don't want to poo-poo a fun thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's great sex.
Yeah.
It's a great time, but that's the problem, is that I think I'll take
the fun time.
Well,
that's how I ended up hooking up with the same guy who didn't want to be in a committed relationship for 5 years, because I was like, the sex is fun.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me coming back. And in the process of doing that, I was also actively dating because I knew that he wasn't ever going to give me what I wanted.
Sure. And then also, like, but does that kind of make the dates worse? Not worse, but like, because you have this thing that you're just like, all right, well, I can just fuck this guy.
It makes the dates like low stakes. So when I went out on a date with my boyfriend, I was like, this guy's really good looking. I feel like we might fuck, and then he may never talk to me again. But that's
your boyfriend.
That's what I thought before I met him, because I was like, I don't know if he's gonna even look like this, or if I'm getting catfished, or like what's happening.
He's really handsome.
Yeah, he's handsome.
He's a really rugged dude.
Yeah, and so
is he tall?
Yeah.
How tall?
He's 6 foot. Yeah, so
if I was 6 foot, dude.
Yeah, but so the stakes were low, because I was like, I'm already having like sex that I enjoy with somebody, so this is just like, I didn't need for the date to go anywhere, and then it ended up going somewhere because I didn't need that.
Have you ever fuck somebody you hate? You hate fuck somebody? Really? It's the best.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt that ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, because I was thinking
you just thought of that time doing it?
Yeah, and I was like, ugh, it's good, bad.
There was a girl that I'm not gonna say I hated her, but it was right before I moved to New York. We started hanging out, and she's an actress, and like her, and a working actress too. But we did not get along. Like, fuck that, dude. I waste the same thing. I wasted time on a girl. That's a whole different story. I wasted time on a girl. I hated this girl. Like, everything about her, like, except I was so attracted to her. And the sex was great, but I hated her.
No.
And I would never call, like, when I say neo-hippie, like, Stephanie is Stephanie. She's always been that way. Yeah. She's her hippie in her way, but she's still like being herself.
Right.
This chick was like just like a spiritual narcissist, like, oh no,
like an LA spiritual narcissist.
Oh, dude, like I just want to be transparent, and it's all about transparency.
Want to hold space.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. She was she was everything I hated about Los Angeles. And then but we would have this great sex, and then she would either come out to New York or I'd come see her here, and just not right. Everything that I don't want in a girl, but like I said, I wasted so much time on her. And then she came here once when I was doing the Jam, and she brought some friends, and she didn't bring friends to see me. She brought friends just to kind of like, I'm backstage at the Comedy Store. Like, look how cool I have VIP.
Yeah.
And she was mean to Joy, the girl that does the back massages back there, and mean to Naomi, the security guard. And they told me, and I was like, cool, that's it. That was all I needed, just to be like, and some other person pulled me aside and was like, dude, you can do way better than that girl. Like, she was a bitch. She was, like I said, when people shit on LA, they're shitting on her.
Right.
She's all the shit that is wrong with LA.
Right.
Like, I'm a scenester, like going to like a fucking, like a premiere that you're not a part of, and like taking pictures, posting, and be
on
like,
the carpet.
Congratulations to the cast and crew. Bitch, you have nothing to do with that movie.
Yeah.
What did you have to do with Long Legs? Nothing.
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you haven't seen Long Legs,
see it.
Oh my God, Nicolas Cage rules. This girl, though, the other one I was talking about, we start hanging out. It's wrong, but the sex is fun. I mean, intense.
Yeah.
Staring in each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Just top 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I go to I'm in my head, I'm like, should I edit this? Or I don't think anybody will find out, but I thought I go to New York and then I come back here. The second I moved to New York, Comedy Store is like, we want to start doing the jam here.
Yeah.
And I love this place.
Yeah.
And I want a reason to come back. I love being able to see people like
Yeah.
you and see Kim and see all my friends. And, it's a fun way to be bi-coastal.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm going to do it. And the first trip back, she's like, you should stay at my place. I'm like, sure. But I'm like, I'm just letting you know I'm going to be working.
Right.
So I can't really this. If you want me to stay, just know we're not going to be together the whole time. I have to work. She's like, no, I get it, dude. Excuse me. She's just like really wants my time, and I'm like, all right, we hook up, and then I'm like, I gotta go. She's like, oh, can I come? And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm doing this and blah blah blah. It's like, you want to meet up later there? Sure, I'll leave a ticket.
Yeah.
And then one night, on the second night there, because I'm there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leaving. I think Monday was the jam, and then I'm leaving Tuesday morning. And so on Saturday night, I'm here, and I'm getting texts from her like, "Are you coming home soon?" And I'm like, "Home?"
No.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm just wrapping up shit here, and I'm like talking to Richie, and Richie's got like the fucking pitcher from the Dodgers. We're having the best time. It's a Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And so I realized, she's like, listen, well, if you're not going to come home soon, you should just find another place to sleep tonight. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I head over there. And then I get there, and then she's just, breaks down. Like, I just can't believe you're doing this to me. I feel like you're just using me. I'm like, no. You recommended this.
I came here to work.
I came here to work. I get it. I don't want to make you feel like this. So I'm just going to leave, because Nicole Amy was like, you can stay at my place. And I was like, I'm going to go. And she's like, no, please. She's don't leave. And I'm like, no, it's probably for the best. And so that ends.
Uh-huh.
Cut to, there it is. Cut to, months go by, years, if that. And I would, I'd still like some of her pictures, and, I'm a guy because of that sex, like you said. When the sex is good,
it'll keep you
you'll circle the meat. You're just like, so we stay in touch, and then we jump on the phone and we flirt. She's like, are you coming to LA anytime soon? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there next week. She's like, oh, well, maybe we should hang out. And so I do. I get into town. I have lunchtime open, so I hit her up. She's like, come over. I come over. We hook up. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
And then that night, I'm like, yeah, so I'll leave you tickets. You can come to the show, and then maybe we can hang out afterwards. But I'm flying out the next morning early. And just like that, she comes backstage, and she's not, I don't want to call her annoying. She's
not annoying.
She's not annoying. It's not like, she's not Lekka, where Lekka's here in the room, but you don't know she's here.
Right.
You just know she's loud. She's this. She's been drinking.
And then she's in the green room, which is already weird when it's someone who's not a comic and they're in the green room, and you're like,
But she's also, I think it is also, it's like, with what we do, when you bring somebody into that world and now they're kind of accepted in a little bit, this could be very fun and exciting. And so they're like, oh my God, and this, let me go see what's on stage. And oh, Bill's going up, let me walk over here. And she's just doing all of that. And I'm trying to count money and do this and get the show ready. And then after the show, I smoke a little bit of pot, and we go back up to my room, and I'm packing, and she's there, and she looks great, but she's, like I said, she's just trying to get my attention. So then we start hooking up, and like I said, I'm high.
Yeah.
And I'm having unprotected sex with her. And while I'm having sex with her, I imagine, what if I accidentally finish and it gets her pregnant?
Yeah.
And then we have a kid together. Or would she get an abortion?
Yeah.
And I'm in the act of having sex. And I just lose my boner immediately. Literally, it's almost like, I have a
self, you was protecting yourself.
Oh my God, dude. And then that was it. And then we go, yeah, I guess it's just my head's in different places, blah, blah, blah. And then I just slowly started cutting it off, but literally in the act of sex.
You future tripped that you had a baby with her, and it freaked you out, and you couldn't get hard.
Dude, that's the scariest shit in the world.
Yeah, getting the wrong bitch pregnant.
I mean, how many people do you know that have accidentally knocked up somebody? They didn't want to get rid of it. Which, look, right or wrong. I'm not saying that should be a form of birth.
Up.
but it's just like you now have 18. You're connected to this person forever.
No matter what.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
That's our episode. I know you have another pod, so I don't want you to...
What time is it?
2:12.
Oh, yeah, I got to run.
All right, so plug your stuff.
Oh, one, I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, please. And I want to get you on the 500, which that's why I have to leave. The 500 with Josh Adam Meyers. I'm going through Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums. We started at 500. We're working our way down. I'm so dry. The allergies are just, dude, my finger skin is so cracked.
I know.
Oh, you see it? Oh, no.
No. I mean, I feel like...
I try to get, like, cool Band-Aids at least,
Star Wars.
Yeah. At Josh Adam Meyers on all social media. JoshAdamMyers.com for tickets. I'm on the road. It's mid-January I start up, and I'll be out pretty much hopefully the rest of the year. Go to punchup.live/Josh Adam Meyers for tickets. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find me here every Wednesday on Shenk and every Monday on This Bitch with Kim Congdon. Patreon.com/Sarah Weinshenk for behind the scenes and bonus content. And we'll see you next week. Bye.